Hello and welcome to the Dominion Daily for April 4th, 2026. We've got what should be a full random kingdom. Sure looks that way. And lots of things to scroll through. I don't see... Oh, God. I don't see any trashing and there's bureaucracy. Okay. Well... Oh, wait, plan. Okay. How about that? I was gonna say, how about that prize goat? But, so for trashing, we got good plan, and then potentially we got prize goat gained off of foray. Not very likely, but, for draw, we've got destrier, torturer, barge, shepherd, potentially warrior from the page line as well. So lots of draw. Plus actions, there's rustic village, and then there's champion. So potentially bureaucracy never gets turned on. That would be nice. And then for gains, we've got plus buy from astrolabe and barge. Pirate can gain treasures, and then foray can gain loots, which can have plus buy. Or in the case of hammer, I suppose, can just gain things. We're definitely going to want to get a page up the line aggressively. That's going to be the best way to counteract torture, for one thing. Also, the plus actions will be useful, and then you can just stuff barges and torturers into the deck. I'm wondering about planning on page, putting plan on page. Because the problem with putting plan on page is that then we have a 10-card deck, and if page is in the second hand, it triggers a shuffle, although it is a short shuffle. I also don't super want to trash estates. But the shepherd draw, if the bot goes for torturer, is going to be tough to utilize until champion is down. We could also consider page and then plan on something else. I guess when I was talking about gaining, I didn't mention treasure hunter and hero can also gain treasures. That, I don't know. That could be relevant if bureaucracy doesn't get turned on. If it does, well, you probably just never wanting to gain treasures and just put draw in your deck. But there's so much other draw here. I do think it's probably better to go ahead and trash estates. Although, well, the counter... Yeah, it really... if it wasn't for bureaucracy, right, then just be like, well, yeah, I'll just get a few rustic villages before champion, so that we can play with the terminal draw. And then, if you have barges set up, right, your shepherds will draw pretty well. Or even if you just have one or whatever, but we kind of don't want to play with rustic village because bureaucracy is going to be awful here. So Hmm. Plan on page. I mean, even if we can just get, like, before we get to champion, if we can just get, like, a couple barges and play them in duration mode, that will still be, like, a good amount of draw. Help us cycle through to get to the champion. And if we go plan page and trash estate, that does... like, that does advance us towards that goal without necessarily needing to add much payload, because obviously we'll have, like, a higher portion of copper compared to states to be able to hit 5 with. I think... and, I mean, we're going to get at least, like, a silver or two off a treasure hunter anyway, presumably. What would we want to plan if not? Plan on, if not page. Destrier could be good eventually. Probably not so much in the short term. Or one of the 5s, which would probably be barge. But we're not going to hit... if we just open plan page... or if we open page plan, I guess I should say it that way. If we open page plan, we're probably not hitting 5. Well... I mean, we can always move the plan token later, and probably will want to. I think I'm just going to go with plan on page. And I think I will go ahead and trash an estate. And maybe just go ahead and trash another one here. And yeah, the page is going to miss the shuffle, which is unfortunate, but... we do hit 5 here. We do need to think about... we're going to have warriors that we need to play. Next turn, there's a pretty good chance that we're not going to see any of what we're gaining here, but... just wondering, like, do we go ahead and get the barge now? I think so. Like, I think there's a good chance that we end up in a situation where we play the barge one turn and then we play warrior the next turn. And if we delay the second warrior, that's whatever anyway. You could even argue... don't bother to exchange this page. The bot is far enough away from, like, gaining a whole bunch of cards in one turn or whatever that I don't think it's urgent. Yeah. I think I'll leave it as a page. Here's the torturer. Expected, but unfortunate nonetheless. Also, we're a coin short of being able to do foray. So we could get another page and trash with that. We could also get, like, an astrolabe, I guess. It is only turn 5. I shouldn't be sad, but I am sad about the fact that our top page going up the line has been maximally slow to this point. We're gonna also hit 3 next turn. Hmm. I kind of don't want to trash the last estate because it is useful for Foray. Hmm. But we're also, yeah, we're gonna have. Sorry, we're gonna have 4 next turn. So we could potentially just we could move the plan token. I have no expectation that the bot is going to gain multiple cards such that we're going to gain multiple silver such that Destrier is going to be cheap. So moving it to Destrier doesn't necessarily help too much right now. Getting more pages is not like useful other than it's just a way to trash. So like moving it has that benefit. I mean, we could also, I don't know, I guess we could just go ahead and move it and then like plan to take an Astrolabe, whatever. The bot did just shuffle, so it's possible we're going to get hit with Torturer. If that is the case, then we'd only have 2 coins. Which thing would be? Do we want the Astrolabe enough that we'd rather do that first? I think not. I think I'm gonna move the plan token to Destrier, and then do we want to exchange this? I still don't think so. Well, okay, so next turn. Next turn, we're not triggering a shuffle. Then we're going to have the duration draw, and we're going to play the warrior. Next turn being like turn 7. And then the turn after that, we're going to want to play the hero, and if not that, the barge, which means we're not going to want to exchange this from treasure hunter to warrior anyway, so I still think not. Pirate. Okay, well, I think I will go ahead and take that Astrolabe. Actually, not totally obvious that I should discard a state here, like because of the foray thing, but uh-oh. Why would you do that, bot? Why would you do that? Well, we could foray here, actually. We could even do it while playing the Astrolabe. We don't have enough to trash with a Destrier anyway, so that's... Yeah, I think for a play Sextant, that's a good one. Okay. The bot is up to warrior. Okay. So next turn, play the hero. That's guaranteed. And then what I'm trying to figure out is if it makes sense to take another barge now, or to just take a destrier. Oh god, the bot got another rustic village. Why are you doing this, bot? Come on. God damn it. Anyway. The option to trigger a shuffle with a page. And then we can just clear it out anyway with the second, so we might as well. But we're not going to be able to play if we don't find the champion. Yeah, I think it's I think it's Destrier. All right, yeah, let's go ahead and trigger the shuffle. I might prefer Astrolabe to gold, to be honest, as it's less of a stop card. Okay. We can trash 2 coppers by buying Destriers. That seems pretty good. All right, now do we want to exchange the page for a treasure hunter, try to get it to warrior? The bot still doesn't have much in the way of gains. We have both of the astrolabes, we have the barge. It hasn't used foray. Bureaucracy is too far away to come online. Doesn't have a hero yet, or it doesn't have a treasure hunter anymore. So the only reason not to exchange treasure hunter, or exchange to treasure hunter, is that it turns into a stop card relative to page. And we could just wait one more turn. It would, however, make Destriers cheaper. I think I'm gonna exchange it. Figures. Oh, I forgot about the pirate. That's a source of gains for them. Oh. Looks like maybe we don't. I mean, we could play the barge for now. Is that better? Yeah, it probably is. Okay, we didn't see it anyway. Leave the treasure hunter on top. I don't think so. All right. Just get another Destrier and trash another copper, I guess. I mean, we have 8. We could get like barge and something. What would that something be? Another page? Barge is more draw, but Destrier lets us trash a copper right now. The bot does not have a hero yet, so getting a torture is also an option. I mean, it's presumably going to get there soon enough. Do really want to trash these coppers. I'm just gonna get the Destrier. Not ideal, but at least it does make the Destriers cheaper. Could consider Foray again. No reason to discard silver to that. Let's see, Foray barge would cost 8. And we'd have to discard 3 cards. And then we'd have really cheap Destriers that we probably couldn't trash anything with. Well, I guess we could trash... No, we could. If we Foray... Or these 3, we get the barge, and then we trash 2 coppers with 2 Destriers. Sure, okay. Wait, the Destriers aren't that cheap. What am I talking about? Ah, damn it. Why did I think they were? I just, like, totally got that wrong. I guess I could buy a copper. This is pretty silly, but... No. I don't know, I just, for some reason, I was like, oh, two silvers and the barge and the loot, that's... It's worth buying 2 coppers to then get Destrier that then trashes a copper. I guess it probably is, even though it clearly screwed this up. I'll buy my Destriers. Didn't get to either of the barges? Really? Okay. Do we want to foray again? Probably. Foray for 3. Will leave us with 9 to 12 coins. Destriers would cost 5. I'm having trouble doing this math. All right, so if we did this, we want to leave at least 1 copper. We foray, we're at 11. Destriers cost 5. We buy barge. We're at 6. Destriers cost 4. I don't think that really adds up nicely. We just go for a double Destrier. That still leaves a coin that we're not spending. Huh. Oh well. Do not want hero. Stop buying my Destriers. Okay. Finally actually drew our deck. Crash to silver. No. That's not what I wanted. Okay. Probably plan to get the last Destrier, and then we can move the plan token next turn, because we're not gonna get another thing with that anyway. Bureaucracy still hasn't activated, which is good. Okay. Do we actually need to add more payload to this deck? The thing is, if bureaucracy activates, then the answer is very definitely no. But it hasn't yet. It's not clear when it will. Like, it could be as soon as next turn. Like, ugh. We clearly don't have like an immediate need for like 2 more barges or whatever. Like, scared to put pirate in my deck. Could consider starting to score. We could also consider upgrading warrior to hero. We do have a lot of draw. We can always opt to not play the hero, I suppose. Yeah, maybe that is the play, and then we do just go like double barge, Destrier. Yeah, I think so. Do I actually want to top deck barges? I want to play, have some of them for next turn effect, which then I don't necessarily want to see it, but I guess I'll top deck 1. There's the one of the rustic villages. We do have two out there at sea. Yeah. Now it is tempting to go ahead and get a torture because yes, the bot just got a champion, but well, oh, it did just shuffle though. Okay, never mind. Well, we certainly don't lack for draw this turn. Do we play this hero? We have... I'm gonna say yes, even though we did not draw the gold. So do we play the barge now to draw the gold? That's the question. Obviously... Wait, maybe that's not obvious. Any chance that we can just win the game here? 3 buys, 6 buys, 7, 8, 9, 10 buys. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No. No chance of that. Okay. So, next turn. Next turn. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Did I get 5, 6, 7, 13, 16, 19. Oh, you have as much as 25. Or 28. Probably... 28 is not quite enough for Triple Province Barge. Otherwise consider... If the bot does top deck its champion, it potentially threatens to do pretty well because it does have a good number of barges. I guess it only has 3, actually. 3 barges and a torturer. And it doesn't have any loot. So it's not really able to threaten a pile out because it doesn't have the gains. So I don't think we need to worry about that. So and we can top deck barges. We have 28. We go province. Province would leave us with 12. For 2 barges. And an estate? We don't want the estate right now, though. If we stick with the 25... We could just go triple barge province. I don't think there's any way for the bot to get 8 estates. Yeah... I think that's the way to go. So we had 28 coins in the deck. We just added 4 coppers. So now we have 32. Spend 16 of those on estates. And another 16 on provinces if needed. So that should put us in a pretty good spot. They did find the champion. But... oh, I wasn't thinking about the fact that Hero could add 4 more coins as well. We don't need buys, do we? Because we could take 2 more coins and a buy. Astrolabe. I mean, I know we don't. I guess the question is, are we better off with buys? We are going to need to empty the estates. We can't get 6 provinces. So... I think the answer is actually that it doesn't matter, because we can't get quite enough money to get a duchy. And getting provinces is better than not getting provinces. But... whatever. We don't actually need these barges for now, probably, but we'll do it anyway. Oh, invincible, right, okay. Oh, God. No. No. Oh, you know what we should have done? I'm not undoing to go through all this to do that again. We should have gotten another foray. But, oh well. Anyway. Yeah, so the bot didn't play with plan, and I would say that was poor choice. There's lots of different options for what you do with it, but I think playing with that is pretty essential. It also just didn't invest that much in draw. I think those things are somewhat correlated, at least, because it was easier for me to stuff Destriers into my deck because I had better deck control. But I don't think that's the only factor. Like, the bot got the early pirate, which I don't think is a good idea. I guess that's probably the main thing. It was also a little slow to get page, maybe? If I recall correctly, it maybe didn't open with page. Is that correct? Silver Shepherd, yeah. So I don't really know what the logic behind that is. If it's just like, oh, I want to hit 5. I don't actually think hitting 5 here early is like the most important thing. I did talk about, okay, you know, if we trash a state, then we can, you know, like we can get to barge. And so in that sense, I guess, you know, it's good, but I mean, definitely the most important thing is to get to champion for multiple reasons. You want the infinite plus actions so that you can just stuff the terminal draw cards into your deck, and you also want the attack immunity from Torturer. And like, I mean, like I said, if it wasn't for bureaucracy, probably I would have picked up a rustic village or 2 along the way. Like, there were definitely times when I had 4 and I could have. I didn't want to deal with bureaucracy, of course, but, you know. So I guess it depends on how you look at that, but, you know, you could imagine that rustic village wasn't on this board, and then obviously you really, really want champion for that. But even with it on the board, it doesn't give you nearly as many actions, obviously, as champion, and you have to line it all up and blah blah blah. It's definitely really good to have champion. And if it wasn't for champion, I absolutely would have gotten torture and attacked the bot with that. I mean, as it was, I got to attack it with sword a little bit anyway, but yeah. Champion, even though the bot was relatively slow to go for champion, that was the reason I didn't. I think, you know, there's definitely a world where like I went for more tortures, particularly after I got to champion, and then like the bot got locked down by that, like because if I had gotten that going quickly enough before the bot had gotten his champion, and if the bot had chosen to like discard its hand and all that stuff, like which I know it has had a tendency to do, at least in the past. I don't know if that's changed, but so I mean, I think against a human player, that wouldn't be like a good game plan to like invest heavily in torture, because it's mostly just a worse card than Barge on this board. But against the bot, it might be effective. But I, you know, I'm usually not going to worry about that too much unless like there's some other asymmetry, like in the campaigns. Like sometimes, although I don't think in like the intrigue campaign there is, but like sometimes like there's the asymmetry of like, oh, the bot starts with, you know, more points. Actually, maybe there was one board that was like that. But anyway, barring that, I don't feel a need to like do something that would only be specifically effective against the bot. Right? I can just play the board like, you know, normally and get the barges. They're good. but yeah, for what it's worth, there might have been a window there where it could have just gotten the torture shut down. Anyway. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.